And good morning, everybody, and welcome to Wow Wednesday. I am your host this morning, Nancy Matthews, and I am one of the founders of Women's Prosperity Network, along with my two sisters, and that is real sisters, same mother and same father, and we are grateful and blessed that we get to play together, work together, celebrate together, and have this community of extraordinary women and some really awesome men who come together to live their best life, to say, I am giving my best to each day as it arises. And this Wow Wednesday call is just part of the community, the structure, and the resources that we've created for you to show up and be awesome and celebrate with each other and bring your value and gifts and services to the world. So I want to thank you for joining us live on the call or listening to the replay. It is our pleasure to be here in this space with you, and I'm particularly excited to introduce you this morning to our guest. Dr. Gabrielle Pellicci, known as Dr. Gabby, is a leading expert on holistic medicine and the author of Blissful Business. She's a TV host at the Health and Wellness Channel and an expert wellness blogger at Huffington Post and SheKnows.com. Dr. Gabby has traveled to 40 countries, worked with thousands of clients, including celebrities and high-profile people, and has more than 2,000 hours of training in yoga, bodywork, meditation, and energy healing. Dr. Gabby is the founder of Women in Wellness and has more than a decade of teaching experience under her belt at top universities in mind-body medicine and holistic health. Her expertise is regularly featured in national and local media such as MSNBC, the New York Post, U.S. News and World, and now Women's Prosperity Network. Welcome to the call, Dr. Gabby.
It's so fun to be here, Nancy. Thank you.
You are welcome. I'm glad to have you here today, and it's a real privilege to be featuring you and sharing your awesomeness with our community. So Dr. Gabby, you have been featured in many, many news outlets, and I know that from our conversations, that your heart and passion is really to expand women in wellness, both for the clients you work with, in women in achieving their own wellness, as well as helping wellness entrepreneurs really thrive in their business, which means they're serving more people. Can you tell us a little bit about how you came to this space?
Yeah, absolutely. I became very passionate about holistic health and all the healing arts while I was in college. I was a typical stressed out college student. I was studying psychology in my undergrad. I was introduced to massage therapy. I met this reflexologist at a wellness fair, and I fell madly in love with body work. And when I graduated from college, I went to massage school, and I started studying all of the healing arts. And I was really interested for my own healing journey. I really was a high-stress, unhealthy teenager, and I really needed it for my own well-being. So I engaged in everything that I could. I found a lot of healing. I made amazing friends and found that surrounding myself by women who were in the healing arts was a really uplifting experience. And I continued on that path, and eventually it became a profession. It wasn't my intent when I began, but eventually the more that I engaged, the more that I shared that with others, and I found myself just on a career path that was kind of unexpected. So I continued to study and practice, and I did my PhD research about women healers. I interviewed women who were practicing all different kinds of medicine, Ayurvedic medicine, Chinese medicine, shamanic medicine, all different kinds of really cool stuff. And I wrote my research about that, and that was about 10 years ago. And then the last 10 years I've been teaching. Yeah. So I've been teaching at universities for the last 10 years and helping other people who have a passion for health and wellness to create a career doing that. And it's funny because we're still not really well known in the mainstream academically, but you can get a PhD now in mind body medicine. You get a master's degree in holistic health, and you can find ways to integrate this into traditional medicine, into wellness centers, into hospice, into a lot of different kinds of practices. And what I discovered is that having taught now for so many years, there are so many more of us, so many more health and wellness entrepreneurs that are wanting to have a thriving career in holistic health. And so I really want to support them in the same way that I've been supported and been given, the generous gift of being able to do this work for so many years and serve so many people.
That's awesome. That's awesome. As you were sharing, I was thinking about when people say, okay, I want to be a doctor. And part of the attraction of being a doctor, or at least it was for years and years and years and decades, is doctors make lots of money, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then when you think about the holistic side, I think that there's, yes, I want to be in holistic wellness, but it doesn't bring with it the same perceived ability to create wealth,
mm-hmm.
which is crazy to me. Because it's all about medicine, it's all about healing, it's all about wellness. So
mm-hmm.
I am loving the fact that you are shifting the paradigm to not only bring more wellness entrepreneurs to be having thriving practices, but to really bust this myth that wellness professionals don't make a lot of money, because that's kind of crazy to me. It should be, I believe, it should be in the same esteem or higher even than medical doctors. And when they work together, that's really the magic, right?
Yes. It's funny because I feel like on some level the holistic healers have bad branding because there's so many integrative holistic practitioners that are doing incredible things. They're brilliant. They have thriving businesses. They write best-selling books. They have, big wellness centers and things like this. But you don't really see that. You there's so much money and in the traditional Western medical system, in the pharmaceutical industry, in the big hospitals. It's big corporate business. And so they can be front and center all the time talking about what they do to serve and to heal people, which they do a lot. But what we don't hear is that traditional medicine also there's a lot of medical error in traditional medicine. They actually harm a lot of people as well. There's alternative therapies that will better support the healing of people that physicians don't offer. And I can say this from personal experience because my dad was a physician and we grew up on antibiotics and McDonald's. So I know that they're not educated about the holistic side of things, but we're starting to come together as a holistic community. We're starting to really work together and collaborate together and create a voice for what we're doing. And I think that that's definitely part of the shift. It's definitely part of busting the myths and really creating more awareness about what's happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So, I love your passion. I love that you developed a business born out of you seeking your own personal solution for something. And I think a lot of people do that and they don't realize it's even happening in the process. So kudos to you for following your passion and the mission to make it easier and more profitable and more fun for wellness entrepreneurs to get out there and build those thriving practices, because that means there's more people out there able to help the woman in general. Me sitting here, if there are more wellness practitioners out there, I've got more access.
Yeah, that's a real pain point for me. One of the things that I saw, especially I teach in a master's program where a lot of beautiful, talented, smart women are graduating with a master's degree in holistic health, but traditional universities don't offer career training and business entrepreneurial training as part of holistic health education. So I was seeing many of my graduates now over the last 5-10 years coming out into the world and not knowing what to do with the education that they had. So they had to stay at their...
I'm laughing because there really is a missing in the educational system for doctors, for lawyers, for accountants. They teach them how to be that business, but not how to create a business.
Yes. Yeah, and that was my real pain point, because I was having students that several years after graduating were still working as bartenders or bank tellers, and it was so frustrating to me. So I wanted to find a way to fill that gap, and I even went to the university and said, please, can we implement something? And they said no. So I had to create it on my own, like you said, a business born out of seeking this solution. I really wanted to create some kind of community and solution for women so that they could be empowered and informed when they graduated.
I love it. I love it. So let's hit some points here.
Mm-hmm.
In our community on the call today, we've got lots of people who are in the wellness, coaching, services type businesses. And then we've also got, other types of businesses and services. And I suspect that some of the tips today that you'll be sharing not only apply to those wellness entrepreneurs, but to our type of entrepreneurs, people who want to create businesses that really add lots of value and come from that authentic place. So share with us some tips on how we can reach our full potential in business. I know you've got some characteristics and things to share with us. So take it away, Dr. Gabby.
So one of the things that I did when I started this women in wellness community is I offered free discovery sessions to anyone that wanted to talk about their business. And I've had hundreds of these conversations in the last year. And everything that I blog about and write about and teach about was born out of these conversations and out of listening to what the struggles and what the concerns were of people in the holistic community. So one of the things that I had heard a lot was a resistance to self-promotion and being salesy and wanting to default to this idea of, I'm just going to put up a website or a Facebook page and then I'll get clients. And
it doesn't work like that.
No. So that's something that really needs to be broken down. And I have to encourage all of my clients, really constantly tell people what you're doing, why you're doing it, strangers, family, friends, really get the word out and share your enthusiasm for what you're doing, because it's essential to growing your business. Another thing that came up over and over was this sense of intimidation about, these other practitioners are so much more successful, or, their business is so much bigger than mine. Right. A real intimidation. And you read my bio at the opening of the call. You could hear that bio and think, oh my God, she's a doctor or something and she has a book, and it can be scary and intimidating. But that whole bio that you read has taken 15 years. That's not a bio that happened overnight. It's something that I worked on for my whole career. So really breaking it down into the small bite-sized pieces that you can do on a daily basis, and knowing that you're going to get there eventually. You're going to write the book. You're going to build the business you're trying to build. It's just going to take a bit of time. And as part of that journey, something that's really important while you're on this journey is recognizing where and when you need to bring on people who can support you, because we are very self-reliant women. We're powerful professional women, and we like to think we can do it all ourselves, and we value our independence. But one of the weaknesses that I see is not asking for help and not bringing on that help when you need it. It doesn't mean that you can't manage it all on your own. It just means you're better at doing certain things, and you should spend your time doing those things and allow other people to support you doing the things that drain your time and energy. And the last thing that I see all the time is perfectionism and a feeling that I can't start my business because my website's not perfect. I can't give the talk because the talk hasn't been prepared perfectly. I can't because it's not ready. It's not perfect. But these things are never going to be perfect. Nothing that I do is ever perfect, but you have to do it anyway. You have to do it even if it doesn't feel like it's perfectly polished. You just have to do it. So those are some of the things that I see come up really consistently in my conversations.
Absolutely. And again, I'm going to say that I see those three things. Mm-hmm. People don't want to be salesy, mm-hmm. intimidated by other bigger companies or people mm-hmm. with more experience, so to speak. and this perfectionism, I see that all the time, all across the board with entrepreneurs, regardless of the industry.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, if I may, one other piece that I see come into play, particularly with holistic professionals, is there seems to be a need to come out of the closet. And what I mean by that is sometimes people are not comfortable sharing that they're into energy healing or energy medicine. And because it's not yet well accepted and well received,
Mm-hmm.
there could be, again, another form of intimidation around that. Do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, we need to build up our confidence about our value that we add. So if we know what our contribution is and we know the value of that contribution, like I know when I share holistic healing modalities with people, I know the value of those modalities because I used them and I healed myself with them and I shared them with others and others healed themselves. So there's no question in my mind about the value, and that's what I'm communicating. And I'm communicating my value being able to share something that I know is going to serve and help. So I think that really the confidence and the credibility and everything comes from your own sense of how this creates value for others. And that's also, this is Women's Prosperity Network. So we all care about prosperity. We all care about doing things that are purposeful, but doing things that are also profitable. And I believe that prosperity and profit, it comes from value, the value that you create for others. And if we're grounded in that, then I think we don't have to worry about money. We don't have to worry about prosperity because that's just a natural consequence of creating value for people.
So I heard you use the word grounded a couple of
Mm-hmm.
times.
Mm-hmm.
And as reflecting on some of the conversations I have with my clients and just in general, how do you switch from being afraid or intimidated? And I'm suspecting this grounding word has something to do with it.
Mm-hmm. How do you switch from being fearful to being
and worried about paying the bills and not making enough money and how much should I charge and all of that? Yeah, we can say, you just charge enough money, have confidence, but how do we bridge that gap, I guess is my question.
Yeah, that's a really good question. I see that a lot of women, especially because my clientele are women, that's who I work with, they're challenged in terms of these areas around business because there's an inner sense of self-worth that's compromised. They don't 100% believe in their self-worth. Self-worth to me, it's not an esoteric concept. It's not like something out there, I have to love myself, something. To me, self-worth is very grounded in what is the value that I create for myself, for my family, for my friends, for my clients every single day. And it's tangible. If you you make a meal for your family, that's tangible, that's grounded, that's value added to your family. And if you start to compile all of this and bring awareness and attention to this and recognize that this is all part of who you are and what you contribute, to me, that's a very grounded self-worth. And from that place, I feel like you can confidently say to someone, this is what I charge and this is why. And you have in your mind a whole list, a whole movie of things that you've done, that you've created, that you know is valued and appreciated by the people that you serve. And I feel like when you come from that place, you're coming emotionally, energetically, confidently from a place of knowing your value. And to me, that's very grounded. It's not something that's, just a concept or a theory, but it's something that's very real for you in your body and in your emotions.
Love it. Agreed 100%. And I love those the steps that you gave, recognizing where you add value in the simplest of ways in your family, simple but big, and just transferring that and building upon it. Let's talk, if we could, about some specific strategies on, I'm a wellness professional, I'm a coach, I'm a speaker, any suggestions on how to attract more clients, how to build that brand, because that's one of the things you said at the top. The branding issue. So let's talk about some strategies here, if we could.
I feel like I have unlimited strategies. Forget it. I am a guerrilla marketer. Like, I am marketing all the time. I'm talking about my work all the time in every place, every way that I possibly can. And I do it shamelessly because I love what I do and I want everybody to know what I'm doing. So for me, everywhere I go in real life and face to face, I talk to people about what I'm doing. And I try to do it in fun, creative ways. I try to invite people to things. I try to, ask how I can support them so they can support me. I attend their events and ask them, can you come to my events? I speak at a lot of different organizations and companies. I'm here today. I'll be at the Holistic Chamber of Commerce. I'll be at all these different places over the course of the year. That's a great way to find clients. I write for Huffington Post. I've written a book. Writing is a great lead generation because people can see very crystal clear what are your ideas, and if they work with you, how can you help them? It's so clear when you see a video or you see a blog post exactly what kind of information you're going to get from this person that you're considering working with. I do tons of stuff on social media, so you can find me on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, all these different platforms, which I feel like are a miracle invention because
it really doesn't cost.
Wow.
You just got to get out there and share your voice.
It's like you have access to 1 billion people online that, and we know statistically that online marketing is about a 2% conversion rate, which means that for every 100 people that you reach online, that's going to convert to 2 new clients. So I tell everyone that I work with, every month you need to be reaching out to 100 new people online. You need to be sending a message or inviting them to your group, connecting with them in some way, and at the end of the month, you're going to have 2 new clients because we know statistically that that's what happens. And maybe if your branding and your marketing is amazing and it creates incredible value, it's going to be even higher than that. But you don't have to personalize or internalize the 98 people that are not interested. And I feel like that's where some of the education gap is. You know what I mean?
Sorry. Yeah, that was great. Oh no, they didn't like my post.
Right.
Oh, what?
Right. Right. We know that 98 out of the 100 people are going to say no. We know that. So be cool with that going into it and recognize that you're going to connect and you're going to find the 2 people that are your people that are meant to work with you. And the more people you reach, the higher that number grows. You go up to 1,000, now you're 20 people. So you want to grow your reach and your, exposure so that you have more potential clients that see you and want to work with you.
I love it. So question that I have is, how did you get picked up to be an expert wellness blogger at Huffington Post?
I sent Ariana Huffington an email.
Well, what do you know?
I sent her an email. I said, hi, I
love it. I love it. You're like, I'm doing this. Yeah.
Well, see, that's the thing about me is that I'm not afraid to go up to anybody, anywhere, and say, hi, this is what I want. Because I don't just want it for me. Like, I don't just want a Huffington blog for me. If you look at all the posts that I post on Huffington, it's all about, this is how you can grow your business. This is how you can be a better entrepreneur. Here's some great books to read. Here's some great movies to watch. Like, I just want to share all the things that I'm passionate about, and I just want everyone to have access to things that I think are valuable. And that's it. And you'll know that if you interact with me, if you read my work, if you watch my videos, you'll know that I want to share as much as possible. So when I do all these things, I'm doing it for the love of doing it. And so I'm shameless. I am shameless about reaching out and asking people, can I share my work? Can I talk at your event? Can I be on the Women's Prosperity Wow call? Like, I want.
Yeah, that's how this happened too. Yeah.
Yes. I want to connect and I want to share.
You know what I'm loving in this, the essence of what I'm picking up from you is you're doing it for the love of the work, not for the love or attachment to getting the client. You know that when you add value and when you contribute, that's your only job.
Yes.
The rest takes care of itself.
Yes. That's your only job. I never think about, oh my God, where am I going to get a client? I never think about that. I only think about what did I learn today that I can share with all of these amazing women that I love. What did I learn today that I can share? That's all I think about.
I love it. I love it. And for everyone listening in, what Dr. Gabby is sharing right now is, I believe, the single most powerful way to live the life of your dreams. When you stop focusing on making the money and getting the client, yeah, we need to pay attention to our numbers, but there's a different energy around paying attention to your numbers than, oh my God, I got to get my bills paid, I need a new client. No, how can I show up and be the one to add value, to share what I've learned? How can I just be that person in the world? And in truth, everything else does take care of itself. So I love your approach. I love that you're here today. I love your confidence and commitment. They go hand in hand. Your commitment to getting your message out, to serve people, is from confidence and builds confidence.
Thank you. It's a joy to be here and to speak with you.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, we're coming up on the halfway point, so what I'd love to do is get us into a question and answer mode. So if you hold on a second, I'm going to do that.
Q&A session started.
All right. For all of our listeners, go ahead and hit *6, and we'll take your questions and comments. And I'd love for you to share a little bit more about how our callers can get in touch with you. I know that you have a DVD also on Udemy. Mm-hmm. So share all the good stuff.
Sure. Yeah, of course.
Follow you, work with you, play with you, all that.
Yeah, of course. So you can visit my website for information about my Women in Wellness Club and my Women in Wellness career training. It's women-in-wellness.com. You can find all that information there. I do free discovery sessions with everyone. So if you're on this call and you want to set up a call with me, I can speak with you for 20 minutes. You can tell me what you're working on. And the call is not for me to sell you anything. It's for me to listen and give feedback about whatever it is that's happening for you right now. And if you want to work with me, you can, but by all means, you don't have to. I believe that there's a perfect coach out there for everyone, and you'll find, your coach. My community is really what I'm most passionate about. It's just a community of women who are working in health, wellness, and fitness, and we do mastermind calls every week. And it's very cheap. It's $99 for the month. You come on calls every week, and you have a private discussion forum. You have access to me 24/7. And that's really where I think the most value is created, is when women can come together and they can listen and they can share and they can support each other in building their business and overcoming any insecurities and, tapping into passion and becoming more empowered and informed. So that's really my favorite part of the work that I'm doing. And there's all kinds of other things, podcasts and books and DVDs, but really I would like to connect with you personally and have a conversation if you're open to it.
All right, beautiful. So they go to women-in-wellness.com. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right, perfect. And there you'll get all the information. and how you can connect, find out about the club, and how can they get that discovery session with you? Is that on the website also?
Yeah, if you click on the career coaching link, which is in the top navigation bar, it says book now, and you just hit book now, and you can schedule your discovery session at a day and time that's convenient for you.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So for our listeners, again, hit *6, and we'll take your questions and comments, and I'll go ahead and I'll start opening up the lines for our first caller. Good morning. This is a beautiful woman named Amy. How are you today?
I'm fine. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you perfectly. Thank you.
And sorry I missed you the other night, Nancy. I know you were in Atlanta. I wanted you to sign my book that I won at the last event I went to, but I wasn't able to make it.
Well.
Yeah, I wasn't able to make it at the last minute. But I just want to say thanks, and I love what you're saying about all the health-related things. I've done 20 years of critical care nursing, and I've gotten into some other things now that are totally different, and it's more like the preventive side. And I'm never connected to the sale, but I love that you can educate people and they can take things away from it. Because if I can just impart one bit to somebody and they take that with them, you know that they're going to think about and ruminate and hopefully make a change in their own life, perspective, philosophy, or what have you. What I struggle with is I do a home-based business that's already in existence. And I think people frown upon that a little bit, like I didn't create it, I didn't invent it, I didn't.
Right.
You know, I'm entrepreneurial, but not from my own space. And I have a harder time with that aspect of it.
Right.
I don't know if you have anything to say, but I'm also, Reiki master and personal touch. And, I have all these other modalities to add to my information that I disseminate.
No, first of all, Amy, you're awesome. So you're awesome. Because critical care nursing is really, really hard work. Some of my best friends are nurses, childhood friends, grad school friends, and you have a community that you have access to in nursing. You have the American Holistic Nursing Association. You have all the Healing Touch people. There are incredible communities within the nursing community that really do value the holistic approach to nursing. One of my friends, she created a whole holistic nursing degree at a university up in Maine, and she had to fight tooth and nail to get that credibility and get that validity for the holistic nursing curriculum. So I know the space that you're in, and I know the value that you offer. With home-based businesses, half of my clients are MLM folks. I have Arbonne, Herbalife, Isogenics, all these MLM folks, and it's funny because I hear from them a lot, like, I don't know if people are going to take me seriously. Like, I don't have a degree. I don't have this. I'm not a doctor. But I know that these products are amazing. I use them, and I've seen the transformation. I've shared them with people. I've seen the results, and I really want to spread this work. And what I've noticed with the women that I coach is that once we get them past the inner critic and the drama in their head about how this is not as credible as something else, it's not as legitimate as something else. And once they get out there and they just are coming from their heart and wanting people to know how awesome the product is or how awesome the service is, it just flows in the same way that we were talking earlier. It just does. You know, an important part is finding your people that trust you and that resonate with your product. And for you, it could be that your community is nurses, burnt out, stressed out nurses, and that you have something that you can offer them to help them feel better. And if that's the community that you focus on and they connect with you and your lifelong experience of having been a nurse, and they trust that and they trust you, sales just happen. You don't even have to think about the sales because they're investing in you and they're investing in themselves because you told them that they should invest in themselves and take better care of themselves. And that's a totally different approach and a different mindset to the way that we normally approach a home-based businesses.
Mm-hmm. That was awesome. I'd like to add something to that also, which is Amy, have you set up your own website, or do you just use the Juice Plus? Juice Plus is your business, right?
Yes. No, I just have the Juice Plus.
Okay, so here's the thing. You are an expert in wellness and healthcare. Juice Plus happens to be the product that you recommend, but the business is you, and
Correct.
That's where the change needs to happen. So for you, it's about getting your name out there as the expert so that people will, just like with Dr. Gabby, I'm sure there are products she recommends. Juice Plus is the product you recommend. And I know there's more to it and you want to build a business and recruit, but you have got to establish yourself as the brand.
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. So we can talk more about that. You can reach out to Dr. Gabby. That
Absolutely.
will exponentially grow your business.
Yeah,
it's
probably
Yeah. It's funny. I don't know if this happens, Nancy. You probably know better if this happens in other professional industries, but for some reason in holistic health, I see that a lot of women they want to put themselves behind what they're doing. So it's like they put the Reiki out front and they're behind it, or they put, the health coaching out front and they're behind it. It's like this kind of like not really wanting to stand 100% in their power and in the spotlight, like and claiming their expertise. But like, kind of being one, even the way they name their companies, like my name is my website, but a lot of women, it's like wellness, happy, joy, own website. and you're like, what's happening right now? Like, where are you? Do you see that in other professional industries?
I definitely do, and I think it's a part of a building of confidence, and I personally went through that also when I shifted from working for somebody else and into building my own business. And this is before Women's Prosperity Network, when I had my title company and I was doing all the speaking related to that. It was scary to be the person where the buck stops here and just put yourself out there. And there's still moments where it's scary, but I do it anyway. So that's the invitation for all of us, is even when you're scared, do it anyway, because the people that you're going to connect with need you. They need your loving touch. They need your support. They need your encouragement. They need your experience to help them. And that's why, Amy, I know your line is still open. That's why it's about you building a brand.
Okay.
All right, my dear, thank you for that great question that provided this opportunity for us to step into a new space. So I appreciate you.
Have a good day.
All right, you too. All right. Next up is the beautiful and talented Leslie Warren from Tallahassee. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Wow. I don't even have words. This is such a flippin' amazing call. So first, let me thank you, Nancy, for having our guest. And let me thank you, Gabby, for just being, you're totally freaking awesome. You.
Thanks.
I am a personal trainer, and I very much like to incorporate other aspects of wellness into my training with clients. And it's like you're singing a siren song. I'm so happy to hear you on this call. And you will definitely be hearing from me, because from where I sit looking at my clients, it's more than just pumping iron. And this is just a delightfully validating call on so many different levels, that there's more to this than just meets the eye. It's more than just popping pills, which I don't particularly believe and care for, but there's a place for that when it's necessary. And I just, wow. I feel like Kate Bush singing, wow. So thank you. This is incredible.
Of course.
You're so awesome.
That's all. I just wanted to shout out and say thank you. This is a wonderful call, and I look forward to speaking with you
Awesome.
in the future, Gabby.
Yeah, I would love that, Leslie. Thank you.
All right.
Thanks.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Miss Leslie.
You betcha.
All right. We've got a couple more callers in queue, and if you have a question for Dr. Gabby, go ahead and hit *6 on your phone. Good morning. Your line is open.
Good morning. This is Olani. How is everyone doing today?
Hi. Good morning, Olami.
I was wondering, Dr. Gabby, what you think of, because I run a travel agency, so I'm getting slowly into wellness travel.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just wondering, since you've been in this field for 10 years, and I'm noticing more that my suppliers are supplying me hotels around the world that's really geared towards wellness travel. What is your feedback on that? And have you seen that to be something successful in the world of wellness and coaching, taking their people out to different locations and things like that?
Yeah, it's a huge market. It's a huge growing market. It's probably moving into $1 billion industry. It's a huge market. People are becoming more and more aware of wellness in the mainstream. It's been something for a long time that's kind of on the fringe, but it's much more popular now in the mainstream, and people are wanting a different experience on their holidays and when they're doing their travel. It used to be like go to a destination spa and spend $1 million getting, fancy massages. It's not like that now. The wellness travel it's yoga immersions, it's meditation immersions. There's something called A Fest that's really popular where hundreds of people get together in destinations, and it's kind of like TED Talk meets wellness travel meets, I don't know, like dance party kind of thing. It's like people are coming up with really fun, creative. There's the Soul Camp sleepaways. There's so many new emerging travel, adventure retreat, immersion programs, and I think the sky is the limit. And I think what works well for wellness travel is community. If you build community, if you build a tribe, or if you invite people who have a following or have a community that they represent to participate, I think that's the fastest way to build a wellness travel business. Because if you have a teacher that you love and, she says, let's all go to Costa Rica and drink coconuts and do yoga, people are going to sign up for that. So I think it's awesome. I think it's a growing industry, and I think that really the kind of the secret to success is doing it as a community-based business and inviting people who have a solid tribe to participate.
And also, off of that, perhaps, Olami, when you start that, you could invite wellness professionals to be guest bloggers on your website that you create. You're giving them exposure. They're inviting their tribes. And it's about creating that conversation. And then you blog and speak about the advantages of going on wellness retreats and getting out of your daily life in order to create the new habits for your wellness, to give that a total immersion. There's a whole bunch of things that just that you can be doing with this. That was brilliant, Dr. Gabby.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Olami. Glad you could be with us today.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, we've got one more caller in queue, so let me go ahead and take that caller. And Dr. Gabby, before we do that, if you would go ahead and give your contact information one more time.
Yeah, of course.
Because I know people are going to want to get in touch with you.
Yeah, you can use my name, GabriellePolici.com, but that's hard to spell. So that's why I use Women in Wellness. So it's women-in-wellness.com, and you can click on the career coaching link and book a free discovery session with me. I'm happy to talk with you for 20 minutes about anything that you're working on, just like we're doing now with Olami and Amy. Happy to give you feedback and advice for any of your projects.
Awesome. Love it, love it, love it. So again, women-in-wellness, and all kinds of goodies there for you. And then also to have that conversation with her, you'll click on the link in the menu bar that says career coaching, and then at the bottom of the page it says book now. Fabulous, fabulous. All right, I'm going to open up for our next caller. Good morning. Your line is open.
Good morning, doctor. I am a new business owner. I just started 3 months back, but still, how do I stop worry about getting sales and getting customers? Mine is a handmade business. It's a physical product. And also, I'm doing art class. How do I incorporate my craft class as a wellness? You can be relaxed with art, and that's
that's fun. That's fun. I participate for the last 10 years in a course called Relax and Write. I have a teacher that she does guided meditation, and then we write, and then the work that we produce is incredible because she's incredible, and getting into that relaxation space when you're doing art is an amazing way to get the flow going. So there's definitely a business model there. She does retreats all over the world. She teaches at Omega Institute. There's definitely a market there for the relaxation artwork stuff. So I think that's really great. You mentioned that you do handmade products at home and you're worried about sales and stuff. One of the things that I recommend is getting really clear about the numbers. So how many products do you need to sell? What's the overhead? What's the plan? Because, 50% of the time it's like fear about, am I good enough and can I do this? But the other half of the time, it's just not having total clarity about how many products you actually have to sell to be profitable, once you subtract your expenses and all that kind of stuff. So if you don't have it already, I would sit down and maybe you want to work with an accountant, a bookkeeper, a financial planner, somebody, and I would sit down and I would get really clear what is happening with these sales and how many of these things do you need to make. And then once you're really clear, like, okay, I need to sell 100 of these products a month, then you can be really strategic about the marketing. Okay, so how many people do I have to reach with these products in order to sell 100 a month? Okay, I need to reach 10,000 people. Great. How am I going to do that? Well, I can run Facebook ads. I can get a booth at an expo. I can, pitch it to different magazines and ask them to feature the product. You can get really clear about what's your strategy for the thing that you're trying to sell once you know how many you want to sell. Because trying to sell 10 products is different than trying to sell 10,000, and the strategies for that are different. So you just need to get real clarity and make a really great plan for your sales.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that was good. She's amazing. Love it, love it, love it. And what was your name? I don't think I heard what your name was.
Jarina. Jarina?
Jarima?
Jarina. Jerina. Jarina. Yes.
Beautiful. Jarina. Well, best of not just luck, but best of prosperity to you as you step out and build this business. So kudos to you, my friend. Glad you could be with us today.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You are welcome. All right. We are about to wrap up for our Wow Wednesday call with Dr. Gabby. And I want to thank you so much, not just for being here today, but for the work that you're doing in the world. So I appreciate you, I honor you, and I know that our audience absolutely loved you today. They did. So if you could, go ahead and give your contact info one more time, and then any final thoughts you want to share.
Yes. It's really my favorite thing to do, to talk and to share all of this stuff, and so it's my pleasure to be here and to be with you. You can find me at women-in-wellness.com. You can set up a free call with me there and ask me any of these questions, that, like the ones that we discussed on the call today. Honestly, everything that you're doing, the world needs what you're doing. If you're on this call, I don't care if you're doing nursing or personal training or art or whatever you're doing, the world needs what you're doing, and there are people that will help you be successful. You can, be part of the Women's Prosperity Network. You can be part of my community. There are resources available to you to help you do what you need to do in the world. So don't give up. Just keep doing it. You don't have to do it perfectly. You just have to do it.
Very good. Very good. Awesome. So thank you, Dr. Gabby, for being here. I appreciate you, and I'm glad that you reached out and said, hey, Nancy, I heard about you, or I can't even remember how we connected. Was it through Michelle Villalobos?
Yeah, I think so. You and I are both speaking at the Women's Empower Expo in Fort Lauderdale in October.
Oh, that's right. That's coming up soon, too. Yeah. So perfect. And you just got to follow your intuition and follow the taps to get out there and get your message and your passion and purpose delivered to the people you're meant to serve. So thank you for being with us. Thank you for all of our listeners. And again, remember, we'll be back at 8 p.m. tonight with another powerful WOW call. So thank you, Dr. Gabby.
Thank you, Nancy. Have a beautiful day.
You're welcome. Bye now. Bye, everybody. Bye.